You know that feeling when you pour everything into your content, the strategy, the captions, the design, and people love it, but no one buys. They save your post, maybe they DM you a compliment, they say you're so inspiring, but then, nothing. Here's the truth no one likes to admit. Your audience not buying has almost nothing to do with your offer, and everything to do with your energy. They're not just looking for information, they're looking for a signal, and most entrepreneurs are sending out the wrong one. They're speaking to their audience's logic, but desire doesn't live there. Desire lives where confidence meets chemistry. That's what makes people obsessed. That's what makes a casual viewer decide, in an instant, I don't just like this person, I need to work with them. If your audience isn't buying, it's not because you're missing a step-by-step strategy. It's because your brand doesn't yet have gravitational pull. You might be clear. You might even be consistent, but you're not yet compelling. And that's what this video is about. How to stop being liked and start being craved. Because the moment your brand starts to feel like an experience, not an explanation, that's when your audience stops scrolling and starts buying. Let's start with the first shift. You have to stop marketing for understanding and start marketing for resonance. Understanding is intellectual. Resonance is emotional. People buy when they feel something, not when they've learned something. You could have the most brilliant framework in the world, but if your energy doesn't communicate inevitability, your audience will stay in curiosity mode forever. Most entrepreneurs over-explain because they think clarity converts. It doesn't. Conviction does. You don't need your audience to fully understand what you do. You need them to feel that working with you will change how they see themselves. That's what luxury brands understand intuitively. They don't market the product. They market the identity. They sell how it feels to own it. Your brand should feel the same way. It's not about telling people what you do. It's about inviting them into who they become when they do it with you. Here's what that sounds like in practice. Instead of, we help entrepreneurs streamline their businesses. Try, we help entrepreneurs build brands people are quietly obsessed with. See the difference? The first one describes a task. The second one describes a transformation. And transformations are addictive. When you make your audience feel seen, admired, and excited, they start self-selecting. They imagine themselves inside your world before they ever click a link. That's the moment they move from passive interest to active desire. Now, here's the second shift. You need to polarize, not please. The reason your audience isn't buying is that you're still trying to be universally appealing. You want to sound intelligent, safe, credible, but in doing so, you dilute your magnetism. Magnetic brands don't speak to everyone. They speak to someone. They carry a point of view. They have texture. When you try to attract everyone, you attract no one, because obsession requires friction. Think about the brands you can't stop following. They're bold, distinct, opinionated. They make you feel something: pride, envy, aspiration, something that stirs you enough to act. Your brand should do the same. You can be elegant and polarizing at the same time. In fact, the most luxurious brands are. They're not screaming to be seen. They're simply not afraid to stand for something. So if your audience isn't buying, ask yourself this: have I given them a reason to choose me? Or am I blending into the endless sea of helpful content that never changes how anyone feels? Obsession happens when your brand gives people emotional permission to stop searching. The third shift is where everything changes. You have to build emotional continuity. Your audience needs to see and feel consistency of energy, not just content. Most entrepreneurs create posts that live in isolation. Random tips, separate moments. But magnetic brands create ecosystems. Every piece of content feels like part of a bigger story, one that's going somewhere they want to follow. That's why our clients' audiences start buying before we ever finish optimizing their funnels, because their audience is emotionally pre-sold through consistent tone, story, and aesthetic. We've helped founders move from polite engagement to waitlists simply by aligning their brand narrative and visuals into one elegant, repeatable rhythm. No ads, no endless launches, just messaging that compels people to keep coming back. That's what we teach inside our signature program, the architecture of desire. the psychology of why people buy, combined with the systems that make it repeatable. We'll teach you how to refine your brand narrative, elevate your visual identity, and design your marketing cadence so that clients don't just remember you. They crave you. Because when you master emotional continuity, you don't need to chase clients. They start orbiting you. Now, let's talk about the final piece. You need to look as good as you sound. Because here's the secret. Even if your words are perfect, your visuals are still doing half the selling. When your brand looks premium, people assume you are. When your visuals feel composed, your prices feel justified. When your design evokes desire, your audience wants to belong. That's how you build obsession, through alignment between what they see and what they feel. If your visuals still look good enough, you're leaving revenue on the table. And that's why we created our luxury website templates, built specifically for founders, coaches, and consultants who want their digital presence to feel as premium as their results. They're editorial, strategic, and instantly position your brand in the high-value space your work already belongs in. You'll find the link below, and if you're ready to go beyond design, to understand exactly how to create emotional demand, elevate authority, and scale your business with consistency, join us inside our signature program. We've helped clients move from inconsistent months to steady, scalable growth by mastering the intersection of systems, story, and psychology. When you build your brand through that lens, your audience doesn't just watch. They convert. They share. They become evangelists. So if you've been stuck in that strange space between engagement and sales, this is your moment to bridge the gap. Start creating a brand people can't stop thinking about, a brand that lingers, a brand that becomes their next logical step. Because when your audience is obsessed, sales stop being a chase and start becoming a chain reaction. The links below will show you exactly how to make it happen.